If you want to learn not only how to start journaling in the new year, but also maintain the habit and keep journaling all year long, then you are in the right place. Hey there, Abiding fam, and hello if you are new. My name is Kelsey Lee, and here at My Abiding Journal, we are all about helping you to explore your creativity and document your life. So if you want journaling content, I've got it. There's a lot here, and I'm looking forward to sharing more with you in this video because we are specifically going to focus in on how to get started and how to maintain the habit. We are going to just dive in right away, but I do want to quickly thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. More on them in a little bit. So you have decided to start a journal, and that is amazing, but there's actually something else you need to do when deciding to journal, and that is actually to figure out what type of journaling you want to do. Journaling is much more than just picking up a journal and writing Dear Diary every single day. You certainly can do that. That is one of the options for journaling, but there are actually so many options when it comes to journaling, and I know it can be a little bit overwhelming once you start looking up journaling on Instagram or just on the internet and realize there is a lot out there. And if you are completely new to the world of journaling and suddenly have all of these terms being thrown at you, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And so I actually have a video series here on my channel that is all about the main different types of journaling. So there are different types of journaling for memory keeping. There are different types of journaling for creative exploration. There are types of journaling for self-growth. And there are types of journaling for reflection and mental health. So there are so many different types, and I have a 4-part series that goes into detail on the types of journaling within those 4 categories. So once you figure out your why, which of those sounds most interesting to you? Are you most interested in memory keeping? Are you most interested in exploring your creativity? Are you thinking about ways that you can grow as a person and use a journal to help you in that? Or are you really looking for a place where you can reflect and take some time for your own personal mental health? Figure out your why and then watch one of those videos to identify the different types of journaling that will help you meet that need, and then choose the one that best suits you. So that is step 1. Figure out your why, figure out which type of journaling is best going to meet that need. And then third, you want to figure out the right journal for you and that type of journaling, because actually different notebooks are going to suit different types of journaling. And I also have a video all about that, so I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video. If you want to watch that one, you can check it out up here in the cards to really narrow in on the right notebook for your journaling. But some things to consider are things like the paper quality. If you're going a more creative route, then you're going to want a thicker paper that maybe can handle mixed media. Or if you want to go the more reflective route, maybe you want a type of paper that is fountain pen compatible. You also want to consider the size of your notebook. A smaller size is going to be much easier to fill up, especially if you are new. Definitely my recommendation is to go smaller if you are brand new to journaling, but a larger size can be really nice if you have large handwriting or planning on using a lot of photos or creative ephemera in your journal. These are all things to consider. And there are many other considerations when choosing a notebook too, and you can learn more about them in that video. So now that you have figured out what type of journaling you want to do, and you have your notebook and you are ready to get started, there actually are a few other supplies you might want to gather. And that would be the next step for starting a journal. So not only gathering your notebook, which of course is the most important supply, but also depending on the type of journaling you want to do, there may be other supplies that you want to invest in or gather as well. The most obvious one is a pen. You want a good pen, a good writing instrument that just feels good in your hand, feels lovely to write with. and is going to make you want to return to the page again and again. If you are doing just basic journaling, whether that's with prompts or just reflecting on your day, or using it as a space to work through your feelings, just a pen and a notebook will suffice fine. But if you want to go the more creative route, there are some other things to consider. You probably know, if you've been with me for a while, when you look at my personal journaling, I definitely lean more towards creative journaling. And so over time, I have acquired a lot of different creative elements to use in my journaling, like washi tape and stickers and stamps and inks and ephemera, all kinds of things, journaling cards. And I use photos a lot when I'm doing my memory keeping, so I have an at-home printer that I enjoy using. So I definitely have a lot of supplies, but I don't want to intimidate you when you are looking at my videos and seeing all of my supplies, because it's not necessary to start with that much at all. It's not necessary. So if you are newer to journaling and you're just getting started, but you want to incorporate more creativity into your journaling, I would recommend creating a little starter pack for yourself. I might do an entire video on what I would put in my journaling starter pack, but just really quickly, some ideas would be a set of really nice brush pens or just colored pens or highlighters, something that you can use to write in color and just add a little bit of pizzazz to your page. It's amazing what just adding some color will do. Having a roll or two of washi tape is a really fun way to also add some color and pattern and interest to a page and just spice things up a little bit. In addition to washi tape, you might consider getting a pack of stickers. I personally really like the Happy Planner Create 365 stickers or the sticker packs from American Crafts. Those are both really good options. And if you get one sticker pack, especially a seasonal sticker pack that's going to cover a lot of the year, or you might consider a sticker pack that just has some pretty florals or designs that you enjoy looking at and would want to add on to many different types of pages, that would be really great to get. And the final thing I would recommend for a starter pack would be some sort of adhesive like a glue stick or a tape runner, because if you have a glue stick or tape runner, then you can be really open to just about anything going into your journal, and often you can find free things that you just find around your house, like a pretty napkin or a ticket stub, so many things. And in fact, I have an entire video on things that you can recycle and repurpose to use in your journal so that you don't have to spend a lot of money on supplies. You can actually find a lot of great ideas by just looking around you at what you already have, and then use that handy dandy glue stick or tape runner to put it right into your journal. All right, so you know what type of journaling you want to do. You have your journal, you have all of your supplies, and now you are ready to get started, and you open your journal and you come to the infamous, the dreaded, the blank page. So my recommendation is to actually create a page or multiple pages before the new year even begins. So that way you're not having that stress and pressure on January 1st, day one of starting your journal. You instead can kind of ease into it. And my recommendation would be to just get that first page out of the way. Don't be precious about it, because remember, your journal is full of many, many, many pages. And whenever you create one you don't like, you just turn the page and start again. It's really, really a cool concept. You just start again. But my goal for you is that when January 1st rolls around, you already feel comfortable with your journal. You've essentially already broken it in and started the habit of putting pen, stickers, whatever it is you're using, to paper. So if you are not sure what to do with that first page, a few ideas that you can really incorporate into any type of journal would be, one, to just create a page with the new year on it. Use some really fun big numbers and write out that new year title. You could also use this as a space to create a new year goals page and set out some intentions for the new year. I actually have a video that I just created on this topic, so I will link that at the end of this video because I think it's a really great one to watch next. And another idea would be to create a quote page or a word of the year page. What is something you're going to really use as a guiding light for you in this new year? You could also use this page as a title page for the journal, not necessarily the new year, but you could call it my reading journal, my nature journal. Use your name and write the type of journal this is going to be, and you might even want to get creative and bring in some stickers or some illustrations that fit the theme of your journal. So you can use one of these ideas to create that first page or create a few pages at the beginning of your journal. I recommend sitting down and creating a list of the different types of spreads that you may want to create in your journal at some point, whether that's at the beginning of the year or just when you need a little nudge of inspiration as the year continues on. Whatever you do, just remember that that first page and every page in your journal is exactly that, just a page. It's like a bad day, right? We all have bad days, but it doesn't mean it's a bad life. And a bad page in your journal does not mean it's a bad journal. You just turn the page and start again. So now that your journaling is underway, I want to share with you a few ideas for how to keep the habit going throughout the entire year. Before we do though, I want to share with you a little bit more about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare has been such an amazing supporter of this channel and our community, and I'm so grateful because we have so much in common in terms of our passions for helping people like you explore your creativity in deeper ways. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands and thousands of classes on so many creative pursuits and skills that you can start learning and exploring right away. No matter what you are interested in learning in the new year, I guarantee you there is a class on Skillshare. Whether that's for watercolor or gouache, or maybe you want to get into more digital design work, or you're very interested in entrepreneurship and interior design and videography. Literally whatever creative passion you want to pursue, Skillshare is ready to help you. And of course, they have many classes on exactly the topic we are discussing today, journaling. There are so many different types of journaling, as I've said, and Skillshare has many classes to take a deeper dive into every one of them. I've shared in my last few videos how I have been taking a deeper dive into gratitude journaling with a class by Helen Colebrook from Journal with Purpose. She has an amazing course on Skillshare for us to learn all about gratitude journaling. So if you are interested in checking out that class or any other journaling classes or any other classes on any topic of interest to you on Skillshare, I have good news because Skillshare is so kindly offering our community 1 month or 30 days completely free on Skillshare. When you join, you don't only get access to Helen's class or any of the other classes that I've shown you here, but to the entire library of classes on Skillshare, and they are adding new ones every day. So definitely check out the link in the description box to get your 30 days of Skillshare completely free. And thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Starting a journal in the new year is great, but it only really has impact if you continue to use that journal throughout the new year, and hopefully for many, many years after that. So in the next segment of this video, I want to share with you some ways to help you make this habit last and to actually keep returning to your journal again and again. Part of this is going to be in those first steps that I mentioned. So when you are choosing the type of journaling that you want to pursue, choose one that's going to make sense for the season that you are in, and try not to overwhelm yourself by taking on too much. If you are trying to do 7 different types of journaling in 5 different notebooks, it's probably going to be difficult for you to maintain that habit for every single one of them. So my recommendation would be to start small, focus on one type of journaling that is going to be most important to you. You certainly can have multiple types of journaling that you are pursuing, but try to have just one that is going to be your mainstay, the one thing that you get done if you're going to do anything at all. And my second recommendation that pertains to those first few steps would be in choosing your supplies. I think it's really important to think about how much time you're going to be spending with this journal and invest accordingly. If you really want a journal that is going to get you excited to open it every day or once a week and return to it again and again, then you're going to want to make sure that it's a journal that is of a high quality and that you're going to be excited to open and that you're going to enjoy the feel of working in every time you sit down to journal. Same goes for your pens, same goes for if you want to involve some other supplies like stickers. Just try to pick a few things that are at a slightly maybe higher caliber, especially for the notebook and pen. That's most important. So that way you want to honor that investment by returning to it again and again. I'm not saying that you have to buy the most expensive notebook on the market by any means, but I am saying that you want something you're excited to use. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean it costs a lot more, but it does mean you want to spend time figuring out what that is. And you want to make sure it's a good fit for you and your journaling, and also is just a pleasure to use. My next tip would be to make your journal a natural part of your day and really work it into your routine. This doesn't mean that you need a special journaling routine every single morning, but it does mean that you should try to figure out what's going to work best for you. Are you going to be somebody who mostly journals in the morning? And if so, maybe you want to have your journal right by your coffee maker. Are you going to be somebody who journals in the evening? If so, maybe you want your journal and pen sitting right on your nightstand. One way you can make it easier for yourself is by pairing your new habit of journaling with an existing habit you already have. This is called habit stacking. And essentially the idea is that if you already have a habit of grabbing a glass of water before bed, then make sure whenever you're drinking your water is also now the time that you journal. Similarly, if you always eat a good breakfast and have time to yourself where normally you're maybe on your phone and just scrolling as you eat your breakfast, maybe trade out your phone for your journal and use that time to spend in your journal instead. It's also important to point out that your journal does not need to be a daily routine. You can journal when it best suits you. I do recommend a routine when you are starting out, so that way it's easier to have time set aside for journaling. So maybe that is even just a weekend afternoon, or at the very least, once a month, at the end of the month, you are dedicated to having an entire morning set aside to work in your journal. Obviously, the more time you can spend in your journal, the better, but you also need to recognize what else is going on in your life, what are your other goals and intentions, and how is your journal going to help support those and support you through this season rather than feeling like an obligation. My hope is that you will journal as much as is feasible for you, but do recognize that what is feasible in one season may change in another, and that's totally okay. You can always pick up your journal and your routine again, even after a little break. In addition to creating a routine for journaling or just setting aside some time to spend with your journal, you also want to make your journaling readily accessible. I already mentioned having your journal on your nightstand or by your coffee maker, somewhere where you're going to see it every single day and it just becomes easy to pick it up and work in it. But if you are doing a more creative form of journaling, it might not be as easy as just sitting it on your nightstand. You may need to actually dedicate an entire little space to your journaling, whether that is going to be a desk if you have the luxury of having a spare desk or room where you can keep some of your journaling and creative supplies, or even just having a little caddy, like a little trolley of your journaling supplies with your journal that you can roll into any room, any space that makes sense for you to journal. You just want to have the supplies that you most readily reach for, whether that's pens, markers, washi tape, stickers, whatever those supplies are that are going to inspire you and get you excited to be creative, and that will be ready to be created with right there at your fingertips. That is going to make it so much easier for you to journal. And if you are memory keeping specifically, I cannot recommend enough having a little notes section in your phone for you to jot down things that you want to remember to incorporate into your journal. And also, if you are somebody who wants to incorporate photos in your journaling, definitely try to print them out as soon as possible and have them ready to go. I often find that the biggest thing impeding me from doing my memory keeping journaling is the fact that I don't yet have the photos printed out. So as much as I can be prepared and already have photos ready to go to be journaled, that's always super helpful. But ultimately, regardless of the type of journaling, the goal is just to have your journal and any supplies you want to use readily accessible and there to jog your memory that journaling is something you want to do and inspire you to actually do it. And perhaps one of the biggest tips is simply to not let a setback stop you from journaling. Don't let a setback mean that you don't journal again until the new year comes around and you want to try the habit again. Journaling is a fluid process, so you can stop journaling for a few months and easily just pick it back up again. Missing a day or a week or even a few months does not mean you are totally done with journaling and you have to wait an entire year to start again. In fact, I would highly encourage you that every single person goes through a little bit of a journaling slump at some point, similar to a reading slump, but just because you haven't read a book in a few months doesn't mean that you just stop reading altogether, right? And similarly, just because we haven't gotten into our journals in a long time doesn't mean we just stop journaling altogether. It is a fluid process and you can easily start again at any time. Similarly, you should expect that not everything you write or create is going to be a beautiful masterpiece. Your journal is a personal journey. It is a reflection of you going through your life and all of the ups and downs that entails. So don't let one ugly page, one embarrassing little passage in your journal stop you from turning to another page and trying again, journaling again, because I guarantee you that those pages that didn't look like the ones you saw on Instagram and so you're qualifying them as bad are actually beautiful. They're beautiful because you created them. They are your art, your words, your life on the page. And that is so special. Only you could create that. Do you realize how amazing that is? Only you could create that. And so remember that whenever you come to a page where it's not your best work, that this is all just a process and you are still using your journal to reflect you. And no matter what is being reflected on that page, it is going to be beautiful because it is you. In other words, you literally cannot fail at journaling. The only way we fail at journaling is to stop journaling. And my final recommendation, fam, as we near the end of this video, is to just get involved in the community. It's amazing how the accountability and the inspiration, especially, that we gain from joining a community of people who share in our passions and interests, like journaling. It's amazing what that can do for our esteem and just helping us to keep going. You can get involved in the broader journaling community on YouTube and on Instagram just by following all different types of journalers and their channels and Instagram handles and seeing what they are creating. It can be incredibly inspiring, and also you can use this as a place to engage with each other, write comments on what you're learning and what you're creating in your own journaling and what new tools you're using or tips or advice for others who are just getting started. Using the comments section is a huge blessing to everybody in the community. You can also get involved by taking part in different journaling challenges. There's actually one coming up very, very soon that I'm so excited about with my friend Meg from @MegJournals. She is hosting Junk Journal January, and I am so excited to be one of the 29 creators that she is collaborating with throughout the month of January. And essentially, Junk Journal January is an opportunity for us all to be engaging as a journaling community. And she has 31 prompts, one for every single day of January, to inspire us within our journals. And every single day, a new creator is going to be sharing a video of how they have interpreted that prompt in their own journal. And I'm very excited to be day 2 of Junk Journal January, and I'm going to be doing the prompt of Starry for the new year. So definitely look forward to that video and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you get notified when that video comes out. But yes, follow Meg Journals and take part in Junk Journal January. That's a really great way to start getting involved in the journaling community. And there are different events and prompt lists like that throughout the year that you can be paying attention to and participating in by using the hashtags. And then finally, you can join our community, the Abiding family here on YouTube. You can join just by subscribing and liking and commenting and sharing and just being part of our community and watching these videos, but also engaging with each other in the comments. And if you want to engage in our community in an even deeper way, then you can check out patreon.com/myabidingjournal, where you can become a patron and have access to a community of others who love journaling just like you. And every single month I put out journal prompts, I put out journaling printable stickers for you to use in your journals. And we also have a Journal with Me live stream once a month and so much more. There's lots and lots of great content to inspire you in your journaling over on Patreon. And I'm so very grateful to all of my patrons for your support. If you want to learn more about Patreon and what I'm offering over there and how to join, you can check out this video right here, all about My Abiding Journal on Patreon. So that is going to be everything for this video, fam. I hope that you are feeling encouraged and inspired to start a journal this year, and also have gained some tips and ideas for how you can ensure that this is a habit you are maintaining throughout the new year. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments. If you are new to journaling, I would love to know what piqued your interest about journaling, what has you wanting to journal, a little bit of your why, if you will. And if you have been journaling for a while, I would love for you to share one piece of advice for somebody who is starting journaling completely new in the new year. Let us all know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you need a little bit more guidance on how to start journaling in the new year, then do check out this playlist on different types of journaling. I think that'll really help you get started, or you can check out my latest video. And until next time, keep exploring your abiding creativity and document a life abiding in faith, hope, and love.